Greetings, everyone. Grand Rising. This is Elder 360 coming at you with some more absolute truth. I pray that the Creator allow this message to be very valuable and understood by everyone who is listening. Dear Heavenly Father, I will for your vibrations to be upon every living thing in the universe, blessing it in the way that you want it to be blessed for eternity, without a shadow of a doubt. And may you be blessed in the best way any entity in the universe can be blessed, as many times as possible for eternity. This I ask in the name of every attribute that you recognize. Amen. Amen. You know, I just want to talk about myself in God. Myself in the intelligence that governs the entire universe. You know, it's difficult for some people to believe that there is a God. This is why you have atheists. This is why you have people who don't believe that there is a God or a devil. Some people think the universe is self-created. And there's nothing that determines the outcome that we have now. In other words, there was no thinking involved with the outcome. It's just a natural action with no reasoning involved that took place, the Big Bang Theory. Now, if I wanted to prove that there is a God, it'd be simple for me, because the things that God showed me or revealed to me allow me to see that there must be a form of intelligence with the ability to create trees and human beings and animals and birds. This shows me that it's impossible to actually come to the conclusion that there is no God once you reason with these facts. When we identify the things that's made by men and women, they was visualized first before they made a car, airplane, build a high-rise, a house, the appliances in the household. Anything that we can remember or visualize that was created or made by any living thing, or men or women, we couldn't get one down, because it's a natural way things come into existence. The vision of the creation must exist before the creation itself every time. Now, excuse me, you can view creation before the Creator created man or woman, the trees, the animals, the birds. God had a vision of them first. The Creator knew what they was going to look like before the Creator created them. So if we told someone, we'll give them $1 billion if they could show us a creation created or made by any living thing that wasn't visualized first, nobody could get one dime of that money. Nobody. If you tried to create something without the vision of it first, without the vision of your creation, it'd be impossible to do it. It isn't but one way things can manifest that is created or made by any living thing. That living thing must visualize the creation first. So this proves that there was a form of intelligence which visualized the animals, the birds, the trees, the fish of the sea, the planets. All was a vision first. So it had to be a form of intelligence in existence that's able to reason, think, make a decision, create an idea, or create a vision. So that allowed me to see that there is a God. There is a form of intelligence that's able to think, reason, create ideas, make decisions, or create visions. Now, to prove that that is so, just think about ourselves. We are able to think, reason, make decisions, create visions or ideas. And it's impossible for us to create anything without the vision, thought pattern, the idea, without imagining anything. It's impossible to do. So that make me believe that there is a God. There is something that's able to create what we see on this planet. Because everything must be a vision first. Everything must exist in the form of an idea first. I never get tired of stressing this fact, simply because it is a very important fact to me. It allowed me to see that we sow with our imagination. If before anything is created by any living thing, it must be imagined first. This means we sow with our imagination. And then we must reap what we sow. That's just the way it is. And most people are unaware that this is the way things happen. And this is what the intelligence that governs the entire universe revealed to me to allow me to see without a shadow of a doubt. You must be careful about what you visualize happening to others. You must be careful with what you want to happen to others. If it's something negative, you're being self-destructive. If it's positive, you're being constructive. It's just a natural way things happen. And this is what I wanted to speak about today. Now, our physical body is a form of matter. And our physical body was a vision first. So that means it's mind over matter, because before our physical body gets its existence, it has to be visualized. The trees have weight and occupied space. This is what God was showing me. The animals, the birds, the fish of the sea, the water, the earth, air, fire, and water, the four elements that make up basically every living thing, basically was a vision, imagine, or an idea first, from that intelligence that governed the entire universe. So it proves without a shadow of a doubt when we pay attention to creation, when we observe creation, that everything created by God basically has weight and occupies space. Everything but change. Change is just motion. Change happens in space, but change doesn't have any weight. But when we look at creation, we can see the trees have weight and occupy space, the buildings, the houses, the cars, everything. Atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, quarks, leases, and strains, they all have weight and occupy space. But they was visualized first. So this is the illustration that the Creator gave me. It is not only true here on the planet Earth, but this is true throughout the universe. Every living thing in the universe, before it creates anything, it's going to have to create the vision of it before it manifests. That's the first stage. And it's very simple, but nevertheless it's very profound. It is mind over matter. It really is. Mind over matter. Just look around you. There's something God showed me too that make me understand studying creation is a very important thing. You see, it's impossible to find something learned or written down by men or women before they study something in creation. I'll say it again. It's impossible to find something learned by men or women or written down by men or women before they study something in God's creation. If everybody was told they could get $1 billion if they could show something learned or written down by men or women before they studied something in God's creation, nobody get one dime. So that's a fact that God revealed to me. And it really reveals that creation is the best example to use to teach someone. But we must learn to read creation like we read a book. You must learn to read creation like you read body language. And this is what God taught me to do. To observe creation and have facts that is true throughout the universe and obtain a very profound understanding. So let's deal with creation and see how God revealed to me the universe manifested from nothing into what it is now. Now we're just going to use what God gave me, nothing quoting from Einstein or any other facts, but we'll just use the facts that God gave me. The first two facts that God gave me is this: all creations that is made up of a variety of entities must begin from one of those entities first. The second fact is this, is that there's an opposite to everything. For example, all creations created or made by any living thing that exist in a variety must begin from one of them first, or one of those entities first. Here's the illustration. There was one man and woman before you got a variety. One car, one computer, one light bulb, one action, one telephone. Anything that you see that there's a variety of, that there's a bunch of, many of, it must begin from one of those things first. So if everybody was told they could get $1 billion if they could show anything that exists in a variety that didn't begin from one of those things first, nobody get one dime. The second fact is this. There's an opposite to everything. There's a right, wrong, positive, negative, up, down, left, right, space, matter, hot, cold, wet, dry, motion, stillness, awareness, unawareness, male, female. No matter what it is in the universe, there's an opposite to it. So if everybody was told they could get $1 billion if they could show something created or made, just created by the Creator, that doesn't have an opposite, nobody get one dime. There's an opposite to everything. But the opposite is two entities. But remember, everything began from one entity. Between the two opposites, one has to exist before the other. This means the original opposite has the ability to repel or create its own opposite. It means the original form has the ability to repel or create its own opposite, because everything starts from one entity first, and there's an opposite to everything. So that is the key that God gave me to help me figure out how the universe manifested from nothing, from darkness, into what it is now, or how it manifested from one entity into all the entities that we visualize or witness existing now. The Creator showed me that there are 7 different entities that this universe is made up of. Out of all the zillions of things this universe is made up of, it's broken down to 7 different entities. 1, the foundation of creation, which is nothing. If you want to identify nothing, all you do is look at darkness. Darkness is the canvas of creation. Darkness is the first entity to exist in the universe. The second entity is space. Space is just room for matter to occupy. Space is just room for matter to occupy. Without space, matter cannot exist. Third, intelligence. Intelligence is the only entity in the universe that has the ability to reason, think, make a decision, or create an idea. Intelligence is the only entity in the universe that has all motion and all creative ability. 4, 5, 6, and 7 is earth, air, fire, and water. Earth is the different solids everything is made up of. Air is the different gases everything is made up of, that's in everything created. Fire, which is the different amount of heat in everything created. And water, which is the different moistures and liquids in everything created. Out of these 7 different entities, one must exist before the other. The only thing that can exist without something willing it to exist is darkness, which is nothing, which is the foundation of all creation. Darkness had to repel its opposite, which is space. The reason space existed second is because without space, intelligence, earth, air, fire, and water wouldn't have a place to exist because they are forms of matter, and matter cannot exist without space. So when darkness gave off its opposite, which was space, space had to repel its opposite, which is matter. Now this matter couldn't have any motion nor creative ability at first, simply because stillness and motion is the opposite of each other. Stillness always exists before motion. Out of those opposites, one had to exist before the other. Stillness always exists before motion. If the Creator told everybody they could receive $1 billion if they could show something that has motion that didn't begin from a still point first, nobody get one dime of that money. So now this matter had to repel its opposite within itself. The opposite of matter with no motion and no creative ability, according to the things this universe is made up of, is matter with all motion and creative ability, which is a form of intelligence. That is how spirits are born into the universe. Remember, intelligence is a form of energy. Energy is a form of matter, and matter cannot exist without space. And this is what convinced me, what I have learned in meditation from God, with God using creation to teach me, is extremely profound. Now this intelligence has to create its opposite. The opposite of matter with all motion and all creative ability, according to the things this universe is made up of, is matter with no motion and no creative ability of its own, which is physical energy. Mental energy is the energy that has all motion and all creative ability. That's how spirits are born into the universe. So that mental energy had to repel its opposite, which is physical energy, which is matter that has no motion or creative ability of its own, but earth, air, fire, and water, solid, liquid, gases, and heat, got their existence after they was visualized by the entity that has all motion and all creative ability. Then that entity with all motion and all creative ability, which is a form of intelligence, took those four elements, earth, air, fire, and water, and made many things from them. Then placed a part of itself in everything that it made. And that's the truth. To see if it's true or not, just analyze ourselves. We are made of 5 different things. So much solid, liquid, gases, heat, and intelligence. The birds, the trees are made of 5 different things. So much solid, liquid, gases, heat, and intelligence. Every animal on this planet is made of 5 different things. So much solid, liquid, gases, heat, and intelligence. And many people know I'm telling the truth. There isn't but 7 different entities that make up this entire universe. Let's subtract. This is what the Creator had me to do, is to subtract from this scenario. Let's subtract ideas from creation. There would be no animals, no birds, no trees, no insects, no planets, no human beings, or anything, because all of those things must be visualized first. So if we subtract the visions from creation, we won't have hardly nothing left. Only thing we'll have left is intelligence, space, and darkness, which is the foundation of all creation, which is considered as nothing. Let's subtract space from the scenario. Intelligence wouldn't have a place to be. Where are we all the way back to now? We're all the way back to nothing, which is darkness, the foundation of all creation. First, darkness repelled its opposite, which is space. And you notice, I guess many people know this, and this without a shadow of a doubt, that the universe is constantly expanding as I speak right now, at this present moment. The universe is constantly getting larger and larger. And the reason why is because darkness, which is the foundation of all creation, is repelling its opposite, which is space. Scientists say they can see new forms of matter being formed into this universe at the rate of 7 million tons a second through their Hubble scopes. They got these very powerful telescopes, satellites out there, that actually see new forms of matter just appearing like it's out of nowhere from an unseen state to a seen state. And they couldn't figure out why. But in 1999, I built a website, and the first people to visit my website was the scientists at NASA. I gave the information what I'm giving you now to show how the universe manifests. And after that, I noticed they changed the History Channel when it came down to the program, The Universe. At first, they used to start off with a small mass in space, and the explosion or the activity took place, the Big Bang Theory. But once I revealed that matter cannot exist without space, that means it couldn't start off with space and matter, because matter can't exist without space. So I noticed that they changed it just the way I'm expressing it now. First there was darkness, then space, then matter. And then the universe began to materialize. And I'm not lying. The website that I built in 1999, by 07 and 08, it was receiving 5 million people every 3 months. 5 million people every 3 months. And then I had another one called GeoCities, /A360 Logic, was getting 4 million at the same time. I put that up in 04, and by 07 and 08, it was getting 4 million itself. I was getting almost 10 million people on social media, on my websites, every 3 months. One site was 360facts.com, and you can go to GoDaddy and try to buy it. It's up for sale now, and you'll see that I'm telling the truth. I believe honestly that I was given misinformation, because I really worked hard from 1999 up until 07 and 08 to get my traffic up. And they was on Alexa, both was on Alexa. And they keep track of the busiest websites in the world. So I even got a printout where I got 600,000 in one day. Yeah, I have that printout now as a witness. So it's not like the 360 is just something people are catching on to, or just coming in. It's not a Johnny come lately, because I've been teaching it ever since 1977, ever since I was meditating on that intelligence that governs the entire universe, for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, as you can see, these are universal facts. All creations that is made up of a variety of entities must begin from one of those entities first, and there's an opposite to everything, proving that out of the opposites, one must exist before the other, because everything began from one entity. Well, that is what I really wanted to actually explain. How the universe manifested from nothing, using 360-degree facts and creation as an example to express this profound truth. Let's deal with something that'll clarify things, to show that a vision is the only thing that has the ability to manifest into everything created or made by any living thing that we see, touch, taste, smell, hear, or reason with. The first fact is this: everything is an entity with the purpose that it serves. Everything is one individual thing. An entity is one individual shape, fashion, or form. One individual shape, fashion, or form is an entity. If the Creator told everybody to identify creation, anything that's not one individual thing with the purpose that it served, nobody get one dime if he offered them $1 billion to do so. The second fact that we would reason with is this: the vision of a creation must exist before the creation itself. All creations created or made by any living thing must be visualized first. The third fact that we would reason with that the intelligence that governed the entire universe gave me is this: all creations created or made by any living thing must be unseen and non-existent before it's created. Everything must be invisible before it is visible that is created or made by any living thing. That's real. And what proves it, without a shadow of a doubt, that all of these things had to be unseen and non-existent, the trees, the animals, the birds, the atoms, the protons, the neutrons, the electrons, is this fact: matter cannot exist without space. Space must exist before matter. That proves that we didn't exist at one time, because space existed before us. That proves that everything was unseen and non-existent before it was created, because space must exist before matter. So let's add these three facts up. Let's add the fact everything is an entity with the purpose that it serves to the fact that all creations created or made by any living thing must exist as a vision first. This proves that a vision is one individual thing and has a purpose that it serves, like everything else in the universe. Even though you can't see the vision with the human eye, it's a separate thing and has its own purpose, and it's the first stage all creations created or made by any living thing exist in. Let's take the fact that everything has to be unseen and non-existent before it's created, and apply it to the fact that all creations created or made by any living thing must exist as a vision first. This proves that the vision is the unseen state all creations exist in at first. This proves that the vision is what manifests into all the material matter that we see, touch, taste, smell, hear, or reason with, from an unseen state to a seen state. So this proves that there is a God. There is a form of intelligence that's able to create the vision first. And this is without a shadow of a doubt. So we sow with our imagination. When we concentrate on something negative happen to someone, anything negative happening to someone, we have visions that's not good. Or anytime we concentrate on visions that is beneficial to others, good visions, prosperity, wisdom, knowledge, love, understanding, peace, money, guidance, protection, health, from the Creator manifesting in people's life, we are sowing. And then we must reap what we sow. We sow with our imagination automatically. But most people are unaware of this truth. A lot of people think that when they think about something happening, they are just doing wishful thinking. They don't know without a shadow of a doubt that they are really sowing, they are really creating something. When you wish for something bad or good to happen to someone, you're sowing. And as you can see, I'm telling the truth, because no creation or no activity created or made by any living thing can exist until it's visualized. So concentrate on your dreams and desires to manifest. And don't forget the action of willing is what makes everything manifest. Don't forget that the will for a creation to exist must exist before the creation itself, and everything is an entity with the purpose that it serves. Those two facts prove that the action of willing is one individual action, has a purpose that it serves, and its only purpose is to cause things to manifest or materialize. So when you will for your visions to be, that will is what causes the visions to come into existence. It causes the vision to manifest from an unseen state to a seen state. That's what the will does. Just look at creation. It's impossible to find anything created by God before God willed it to be. It's impossible to find anything made by men or women before men or women willed it to be. It's impossible to find something that's not an entity with a purpose that it serves. And it's impossible to find something created by God that doesn't exist in a variety. This means the action of willing exists in a variety because every living thing has the ability to will for something to be. And this means that the action of willing is what makes everything manifest, because everything is separate, has its own purpose, and can't nothing exist into something, will it to happen. So as you can see, God gave us the only force in the universe that make things manifest or materialize. And that's our ability to will for something to be. This is Elder 360 coming at you with the highest wisdom in the universe from the intelligence that governs the entire universe. This is a science that deals with nothing but creation and facts that's true throughout the universe. It is my pleasure and honor to be able to bring a message that is so profound to the people of the planet Earth. May the Creator's good vibrations be upon us all to attract His wisdom, knowledge, love, understanding, peace, money, guidance, protection, and help. Remember, when you will for something positive or negative to be for another, you are preparing something for yourself to reap without moving a muscle or saying a word, but just by sitting still and willing for something positive or negative to happen to another, you automatically causes it to happen to yourself. And I want to thank God for allowing this message to be said through me to you. I take no credit for this information being created by me, another man or woman, or reading it from a book. Peace 1,000,000,000 times, without a shadow of a doubt.